Hello, Kristina.
Hello, Jane. I am really excited to be here.
There's so much to talk about. So let's get started. Let's start with how everything has started. Talk me through your journey of how you started kikkiK.
I came to Australia a long time ago. I was 22. Didn't really know what to do with my life. I was really lost. One night, I woke up my partner for the 5th time asking, what am I going to do with my life? And he was a bit over getting that question. So he said to me, why don't we write down what is important to you? So at 3 a.m. in the morning, I wrote down what was important to me at the time. It was that I wanted to drive to work every single day and absolutely loving it. I wanted to have a business on my own, but I had no idea how to do that, or if I even could do it. I wanted to have a connection with Sweden because I was a bit homesick and I was missing my friends and family and the culture that I was used to. And I wanted to work with Swedish design and I wanted to make $500 a week. And that was based on paying rent and eating and drinking some nice wine and go to Sweden once a year. I rushed home to Paul and I said, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to open beautiful Swedish design stores specializing in stationery and home office back then, and open them and around the world. And that's how the journey started. Wow. In terms of just coming up with the idea.
I wanted to just go back quickly and ask, like, what did you do before this?
I worked in hospitality during my school years. And then because I grew up on a farm and we never really got to travel, my dreams were to travel the world. So as soon as I finished school, I spent a year in the US and I worked as a tour guide in Europe. And then I ended up studying German in Germany. And then I worked for a wine company in Germany. And then I ended up in Austria in a ski resort. And that's where I met Paul. So I was working for a hotel. So I had no experience in retail. And I think sometimes
in retail or design.
Yeah, nothing. But I think it's good sometimes not to know what you don't know, because then you're really open to learning. So I didn't know anything about retail. So I sought out mentors. I went to see people speak about retail. I had no idea about how to fund it. So I went to see lots of people talk about how to raise money. I went to lots of people who are starting their own businesses. So I kind of learned from a lot of people before me. And I think that's a really good for anyone listening to actually model people who've done it before. Not exactly the same way. And obviously everything that you do is unique anyway, but really modeling people who have success in the kind of industry, or even not even the industry, even like in any kind of business, because you can learn so much. So I worked for a travel agency when I came to Australia, and he was really good at finance. So I had him coming in to help me with cash flow. So learning from other people has been huge for me.
I'm learning so much. I feel like so many people have so much to learn about this growth stage of this retail business. Like, how did you then get it from one? So how many stores did you have at its peak?
So I think we got to about 120.
How did you get from one store to 120? Like, how does that happen?
It's a long journey. It's a long story. But basically, the first one was done by the house. So we sold the house, and then we worked with a shop fitter. And another really great way I was working with really great people and that are like-minded and similar values. So we worked with a shop fitter for the first after the first one, probably another 3 stores. We were very different back then, and a concept that's never been seen in Australia, and something new and different, taking ordinary stationery to something that was designed and beautifully. We had a lot of interest from magazines and newspapers, and also I won a lot of awards. Back then, there wasn't a lot of female entrepreneurs, so we won so many awards, which gave us a lot of publicity. And also, obviously, being in retail, you get a great footprint, people walking past. So that's how I kind of got the word out there.
I think it's incredible that is part of your journey. You having experienced all that means that there's so much to learn from you, not just people to start a business, but to deal with the tough times, the obstacles and the hardships that come with a business.
It was a really challenging time. But we had a really amazing team. So it was definitely a team effort. And during those times in the beginning, I kind of was in shock, because I just couldn't believe that that we went, like, it was just something that I never ever thought that I would end up be in. So Paul carried a lot of that weight in the first one. And then the second one, because we'd done it before, I quickly decided I'm not going to go down with this business. I am going to manage my mindset and start again and leave that behind. It wasn't just COVID. It was a lot of other challenges throughout the years. Every business have those. But I have always been good at looking after myself. So in terms of, I've always focused a lot on self-care, meditated, I exercise, I eat well, and I spend a lot of time working on myself. Those small things that I did was really what kept me sane, and also because I love what I do, and I thought, you know, I'll just start again. And as an entrepreneur, I think that's one of the strengths that we have, is that if I've done it once, I can do it twice. And you know, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I'm really clear on my values, on my purpose. Financially, it's really been really tough. It's been really tough and to do a startup, but I just love it.
What's the advice that you would give for setting the right mindset and, you know, starting to take action towards your goals? Like what are the rituals that you live by?
You have to do something you love, because there are ups and downs in every business. I've never seen a business, and I'm sure you have more experience in this now, Jane, than I have, in terms of seeing businesses that have a plan, and it's a plan that goes like this. You know, for Shark Tanks, I'm sure you see lots of it, where there's plans just go like this. There is no such a thing. There's a plan that just goes up like this. So when you have these ups and downs as part of your plan, you need to do what you love, because when things are really tough and when things are really boring and you're going through you know, a challenging times that could last for, you know, months, when you do something you love, there is always something positive in there.
Any advice that you would have for an entrepreneur, or advice for your younger self?
Dream bigger than you think you can. And when I say bigger, it's not just really about, you know, making it global or making it more money or whatever. It's about expanding how you see the world. If you ask yourself, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? If you had all the money and the resources, and if you had the right mindset and also the health and energy to do whatever you want, what could you do in your lifetime? And when you ask yourself that, you are able to create a dream life that is true to you. And I think that's the one that I really want to finish on, is that make sure that the dreams are yours. Really look into yourself and listen to your heart and ask yourself, what would I like for my life? And really stick with that.
Love it. Thank you, Kristina.
Thank you so much for having me.